What is up, guys? I am the Senator, and today we'll be looking at the Year 5 Season 1 win delta and analyzing what has changed. More specifically, though, we're going to look at how the latest changes to Twitch have just absolutely ruined her pick rate. Okay, so you may remember a little over a month ago, I released a video discussing how the latest Twitch F2 nerf was going to have a huge impact on the game. And if you haven't seen it, I'll put a card for it up in the upper right hand corner of your screen. But in that video, I discussed the nerf that was going to come to her F2, and in that video, I predicted that the nerf is going to completely tank her pick rate, and that we would see an increase to the pick rate of other fragging operators. And so, the seasonal win delta chart has been released for the Operation Void Edge, and it shows that I was right for the most part. Now, before I show the charts, I'm going to explain to you, for those of you who don't know how to read a win delta chart, how it works. The further to the right you are on the chart, the more often you are picked. The further up on the chart you are, the more likely you are to win a round with that operator being picked. And real quickly, before I go over the charts, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can be notified every time I post. And so, I'm going to show you the progression of how Twitch's pick rate has changed over the past 3 seasons. And first, I'm going to show you the chart for Operation Ember Rise. Now, in this season, we saw Twitch where she was for a long time. In this season, she was a top-tier operator with an amazing gun. However, in this season, Ubisoft thought that her gun was too powerful, and that's a fair point. So, they decided to nerf her, and in this season, they decided to decrease her mag size from 30 rounds to 25 rounds. And so next, here's the win delta chart from Operation Shifting Tides, and this is after the mag nerf went into effect. And we can immediately see a change in her pick rate. We can see that there's about an 8% decrease to her pick rate between the seasons, and honestly, I thought she was in a really good spot here. Her pick rate decreased to the point where you could use other fragging operators such as Ashe or Zofia. And at this point, at least in my opinion, I think she was pretty well balanced, and she had great fragging potential along with amazing ability, but she wasn't too overpowering. However, Ubisoft didn't think so. They still saw her pick rate as a problem, so they went ahead and nerfed her into the ground. They nerfed her F2 yet again, which was arguably the best gun in the game, and increased the recoil on it dramatically. And they increased the recoil to the point where, for me at least, it's just as hard to control her gun as it is to control Buck's gun. And Buck doesn't even have the convenience of having a foregrip, whereas Twitch's F2 is just as bad and it has a foregrip. And so, this is the result of the nerf, and this is the Year 5 Season 1 Operation Void Edge win delta. And as you can see, Ubisoft just nerfed her into the ground. In just 3 seasons, she went from having a pick rate of 59% all the way down to 15%. And not only that, but she has a negative on her win rate now. Now, I can understand why they wanted to initially nerf her. She used to be a powerful operator, so I can understand why they wanted to nerf the mag size specifically. But after that, in my opinion, she was perfect. She was able to cater to the players who wanted to use her as an entry fragger and still provided a lot of utility to the team. And her shock drone is just so useful when you consider how many defender gadgets she actually has to deal with. We're talking bandit batteries, mute jammers, cameras, vault cams, bulletproof cams, evil eyes, Grismont mines, capcan traps, Wamai frisbees. However, no matter how much utility an operator can bring, nobody wants to play an operator where you can't even control the weapon. Now, I can hear some of you already saying that, bro, you're just bad. It's not even that bad. I don't care. You cannot tell me that there isn't a drastic difference between the way her gun fires in Shifting Tides versus how it fires now. And even the high-level players are noticing this, and these win delta charts are the pick rates from Plat and Diamond players. So even they realize that it's not worth it and it's better to bring another operator. And so this is why we can see a shift between anti-utility operators as well as fragging operators. As I predicted, those who use Twitch primarily as an entry fragger have moved on to using other operators instead. That's why we're seeing a pick rate increase between Buck, Zofia, and Ashe. And for those who use Twitch only for her utility in mind, which I don't think is the primary reason as to why people pick her. Yes, her utility is great, but her gun is what everyone loves, and we can tell that by the win delta charts. But those players who use her primarily for her utility is moving on to other operators like IQ or Buck, who's even able to get gadgets from below. And we're also seeing an increase in Maverick's pick rate, who's able to get rid of bandit batteries or mute jammers. So Ubisoft has ruined Twitch. The best part of her wasn't her ability to get gadgets, even though that is a great ability. It was that she had the best gun in the game, no question. And so, now that they've taken away the best part of her, players are starting to play other operators as entry fraggers, and even for those who used her for her utility alone, they're moving to operators who have similar utilities, but have the convenience of having more controllable weapons. So, a lot of us are left scratching our heads and wondering, why Ubisoft is doing this and why they've been making drastic changes to a lot of operators lately. And I think I have an idea as to what's going on and what they may be thinking. This is just speculation, but this is what I have noticed. So for those of you who watched my video on Buck's grenades being moved, I talked about how Ubisoft is trying to make the game more about utility and having operators use their utilities as a cohesive unit. In doing so, I think they're trying to nerf ops who have a very high fragging potential. And as I talked about in that video, sometimes Siege can feel like a 5-on-5 team deathmatch. And so I think they nerfed Twitch to make her more about her utility rather than her F2. And in fact, I think I know that's the reason, because they've completely changed her gadget whenever they nerfed her F2. Whenever they had that huge nerf to her F2, they made her shock drone work off charges similar to the way that yokai drones work. The drone now recharges every 30 seconds, and this makes it to where her drone can be viable throughout the round. So instead of using your drone to go in, use all the charges on gadgets, and just waste the drone, it can now be used throughout the round. And in doing so, players can now get more utility out of the shock drone. And so the thing I love about Siege, and I feel like this is the reason most people love Siege, is the aspect of every operator using their utilities together as a cohesive unit. And I'm not crazy about it being played like a team deathmatch. So I understand why they're going in this direction and concerned Twitch. However, it's obviously not working. Twitch's staple was that she had the best weapon in the game, no question. And now that they've nerfed it into oblivion, players would rather use an IQ to deal with gadgets because she can get the job done and still have an amazing loadout. Ubisoft has ruined one of the best operators in the game in an attempt to encourage utility, but since nobody uses her now, nobody can use her for utility or for frags. Twitch is dead, and if they expect players to play her instead of, say, an IQ, they need to bring her F2 back to where it was last season. And so that about does it for this video. I know I probably sound like a Twitch fanboy. I'm really not, but I'm just upset that they ruined one of the best guns in the game and one of the best operators. So what do you think? Do you think Ubisoft will try to bring Twitch back to where she once was? Or do you think Ubi likes what they've done to her and making the game more utility focused? Let me know down in the comments. I absolutely love hearing from you guys. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the video, and make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon. I'm the Senator, and as always, have a good one.